Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board. I like to stand here with you along the way, point a few places of interest out, share with you some of my own local knowledge by doing a live commentary. By the Romans in 46 AD, that bridge burnt down. The second bridge, some of you might know from the nursery rhyme, it fell down. The third bridge was destroyed during the Great Fire of London, 1666. And still on our left, we have a fully scaled working replica of the Golden Hind, the ship Sir Francis Drake sailed around the world. The approaching roads for Southwark Bridge were built well within the back streets of London. And because of that, not many people were finding this bridge to use it. So it became London's least used bridge. If you find yourself on top of Southwark Bridge, then you are most probably lost. You've got to walk through the back streets of London to find yourselves on top of this bridge. And all the area to our left, this is the area of Bankside. In the Elizabethan era, Bankside was a place of entertainment. It's where we had many theatres which included Shakespeare's Globe. We have a replica of the Globe to our left, the white circular timber frame building behind the trees. Now the Globe opens every year to the public, and the bridge ahead of us, that is the Millennium Footbridge, nicknamed the Blade of Light. It was designed by Lord Norman Foster, opened in the year 2000 by Queen Elizabeth II. And the building on our left with the tall chimney, that is the old Bankside Power Station. The power station has been fully converted into one of the largest modern art galleries in the world. Opened in the year 2000 by Queen Elizabeth II as the Tate Gallery. And the red brick building on our right, this is the new City of London School. That is where the actor Daniel Radcliffe went to. Some of you might know him better as the wizard, Harry Potter. Behind the school you'll see the dome and the golden cross, which is standing on top of St Paul's Cathedral. St Paul's was designed by Sir Christopher Wren. It stands 365 feet tall, a very easy height to remember, being 1 foot for each day of the year. It took 35 years to build and was completed in the year 1710. Look on top of this bridge and you will see the new Blackfriars Railway Station. Now this is the only bridge on the River Thames that has the platforms and the station directly on top of the bridge. The roof of this station is solar panels, making this one of the longest solar panelled roofs anywhere in Europe. If you look ahead of us, we have the Blackfriars Road Bridge. This was built in 1869. It was opened by Queen Victoria, designed by Joseph Hugh. And it is at this bridge where it marks the halfway line between Tower Pier and Westminster. So we are halfway throughout the journey. All of the area to our right, this is known as the capital city of London. It's one of the smallest capital cities anywhere in the world, measuring only 1 square mile. Surrounding the capital we have the 32 boroughs of Greater London. All the area to our left is the London Borough of Southwark. The red brick building on our left is Stamford Wharf. That was once a warehouse. It's now luxury riverside apartments. Inside the glass roof is the Oxo Tower restaurant. That is owned by Harvey Nichols. It's one of the nicest restaurants on the banks of the River Thames. Now the district to our left, we call this the South Bank. It's where you will find pubs, bars, restaurants, theatres, hotels. A lot of entertainment in the area to our left. Most mornings are filming trees on the left, we have the low glass fronted building and the tower block. They are the main studios for ITV, and that is Kent House. On our right, we have on the river wall a stone archway. That is Temple Gate. It's the boundary line between the City of London we're leaving behind and the City of Westminster we've now entered. The white ship on our right is the Wellington. Now, she served for the Royal Navy during the Second World War. Now she is the floating livery hall for the Company of Master Mariners. Now, that is an entertainment and drinking club for retired sea captains. Here ahead on the right we have a black and white barge. This is the Saint Catherine. In the 1960s it was the royal barge of the Thames, catering for Queen Elizabeth II. It's now a floating bar and restaurant, renamed the Yacht at Temple Pier. Now, across to our left, look behind the trees, the concrete building with the electronic signboard, our National Theatre. Inside that building are 3 separate theatres. They are called the Dolphin, the Littleton, the Olivier Theatres. They are some of the finest theatres that we have here in the UK. Ahead of us, we have Waterloo Bridge. Now, this was nicknamed the Ladies' Bridge. It was built during the Second World War by a very brave 85% female workforce. Most of our manpower was away fighting. It was down to the ladies back at home to build Waterloo Bridge. The bridge itself was opened in 1942. That is when it held the record of being the longest bridge crossing over the river. Now, still to this day, this is the only bridge on the Thames that was built by women, and it is still the only bridge that was built on time and under budget. So a very big well done to the girls. They've done a fantastic job at building Waterloo Bridge. Most days whilst this bridge was being constructed, those ladies were under enemy fire. It was built during the Blitz alone. And as we clear the bridge, to our right behind the trees, the white building with the green tiled roof and the single flagpole, that is the riverside entrance to one of the most luxurious hotels on the banks of the river, and that is the London Savoy Hotel on the Strand. The white building next door with the clock at the top, that is Shelmex House. It was once the offices for the petroleum companies Shell and BP, and it is now owned by the Pearson's Group. On the river wall to our right we have a tall stone obelisk, that is Cleopatra's Needle. Now, that is the oldest point of interest that we pass on our journey. It was carved in Egypt more than 3,000 years ago, given to this country in the early 1800s as a gift, presented to us by a very thankful Egyptian government to celebrate Lord Nelson's victory of Napoleon at the Battle of the River Nile. And across to our left, you'll see behind the trees the glass-fronted building that is the Royal Festival Hall, a concert hall that was built in 1951. It was opened to celebrate the Festival of Great Britain, a post-war morale festival. Ahead of us we have the Charing Cross Railway Bridge. This was built in 1865. Built into either side of the railway in the year 2002 were the Jubilee footbridges. And these were built here on the river to commemorate Queen Elizabeth II's 50th year on the throne, her Golden Jubilee. And to our right, the building with the arched roof, that is Embankment Place. That is known as the Charing Cross Railway Station. Now, that building was designed to resemble a train exiting a railway tunnel. Have a long, hard look at that building, and you will see that it does actually look nothing like a train coming out of anywhere. When the sun goes down here in London and the lights turn on in that building, it's multi-coloured. It looks more like a jukebox, the old Burlingtons from the 1950s. Now all the area to our right, this is Whitehall. It's where we have royalty, politics, our military services. The Gothic building behind the trees on our right, Whitehall Court, and that was built in 1885. In the very early 1900s, it was the offices for our secret intelligence service, MI6. It was where Winston Churchill had his office during the Second World War. Now it's a part of the 5-star Royal Horse Guards Hotel, Whitehall Court. Behind the building, every morning at 11 o'clock, they have the ceremony for the changing over of the Queen's Guards, and that is at the Horse Guards Parades. The Golden Eagle ahead on the right, that is the War Memorial for the Royal Air Force. Look behind the Golden Eagle and the trees, the white building with the green roofs, that is our Ministry of Defence. It is the headquarters and head offices for the Army, the Royal Air Force and Royal Navy. The building was nicknamed the Iceberg. They say 90% of the building is hidden beneath the ground. And it is behind our Ministry of Defence where you will find Downing Street. At number 10 is where the Prime Minister lives, Theresa May. And to our left we have the London Eye, 450 feet tall. The Eye has 32 pods. Each pod is representing one of the 32 boroughs that we have in Greater London. To go on board the Eye today, it will cost around £25. It takes 30 minutes for the rotation. In recent years, the Eye has become London's most visited tourist attraction, and that is because of the view that you get from the top. You are capable of seeing up to 30 miles in all directions. Ahead of the boat we have Westminster Bridge, the second bridge that ever crossed the River Thames. It is the only bridge to have 7 arches. Look above the bridge on the right, that is the new Royal Palace of Westminster, the seat to the British government where we have the House of Lords and the House of Commons, known to most as the Houses of Parliament. There has been a palace on that site since the year 1016. The original palace was destroyed by fire in 1834. 2 politicians got drunk, accidentally knocking over a candle and destroying more than 80% of the original palace. The new palace that we see today was designed by Augustus Pugin and Charles Barry, opened by Queen Victoria in 1852. Now the clock tower is what makes this palace so famous. Most of us call it Big Ben, but we are all wrong. Now its official name from its opening day in 1858. It was known as the Westminster Clock Tower. In the year 2012 it was renamed to the Elizabeth Tower, commemorating Queen Elizabeth II's 60th year on the throne, her Diamond Jubilee. Big Ben is a nickname for the bell inside, the bell that weighs 13 tons and strikes the hour only. The bell was named after Sir Benjamin Hall. He was the Commissioner of Works when the clock tower was constructed. He was in charge of hanging the bell inside. The workers at the time said Benjamin had done such a fantastic job at maintaining the works, they wanted to name something after him so he would not be forgotten. So they named the bell Big Ben.